Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Louis Sports Network. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Thursday afternoon. Before we get started, I want you guys to make sure to hit the like, hit that subscribe button, make sure your post notifications are turned on, make sure you're sharing on your social media platforms. Truly appreciate it, man. Love and much respect. Appreciate everybody coming into the video. Again, like, share, comment, subscribe. I definitely appreciate you. As I always say, without you guys, there is no me. And I'm going to get right on to the video, second one straight of the day. So, this video is really interesting because I was just looking at my Instagram feed and a channel by the name of NBA Cobwebs, their Instagram page had put up a video about 3 hours ago, and it was concerning on Chicago Bulls power forward at the time in the 90s, Horace Grant, who, for those of you who don't know, Horace Grant was a former power forward for the Chicago Bulls. He was there from 87 to 94. He played, let's see, 87, 88, 88, 89, 89, 90, 90, 91, 91, 92, 92. So he played 7 seasons with the Chicago Bulls before he eventually became a free agent and signed with the Orlando Magic. But I wanted to read this article that came out on April 1st by the Basketball Network, and then I'm actually going to play a clip that's going to help you understand part of the reason why Horace Grant eventually no longer was a Chicago Bull. So, by Basketball Network, the quote of the article says, "If Jerry Krause's leg was long enough, he'd be kicking himself." This is what Horace Grant hinted at leaving the Chicago Bulls after becoming an All-Star. We know that Horace did make the NBA Finals the next year with the Orlando Magic when he joined them, but was really not successful after that up until he won another championship. And this is time, it was with the LA Lakers with prime Shaq and entering prime Kobe Bryant. But it says that Horace never achieved the same level of success after he left the Chicago Bulls. So the article says Horace was drafted by Jerry in 1987 alongside Scottie Pippen, a decision that would be pivotal for the Chicago Bulls. Well, let's make that very clear. Scottie was drafted by the Sonics and was traded as a number 5 pick for Olden Polynice so that Scottie Pippen would become a Chicago Bull, but Horace was drafted by the Bulls. Anyway, early on, Horace demonstrated talent. He was a crucial part of the Bulls' success during the early 90s. As a versatile power forward, the general became known for his remarkable two-way game. However, as Grant hit his stride, tensions began to surface within the Bulls organization. That was an issue Jordan had with Jerry Krause, and we already know the well-documented frustration that Scottie Pippen had with Jerry Krause and Bulls management. Despite his success, Horace found himself at odds with management. It reached to the point when Grant was already openly hinting at the possibility of leaving the Chicago Bulls, which is around the same season he finally became an All-Star. Horace Grant says, and I quote, "If Jerry Krause's leg was long enough, he'd be kicking himself right now." A high-spirited Grant said at the time, "It seems like everything is falling into place for me. I've become an unrestricted free agent, and I made the All-Star team, so the price definitely went up." So if you listen to that quote, Horace is already talking about the financial aspects of the game and that he is showing that now that he's become an All-Star, he's proven to be worth a lot more than what he probably thought he was worth from the Bulls organization. Because if you guys remember, Scottie Pippen was advised not to sign the contract by multiple people, including some of the players in the organization. Scottie went against it because he thought about the financial security, decided to sign the deal, and then visibly got frustrated over the years in terms of his contract and not getting paid enough by Bulls organization. He had wanted to get traded multiple times during his time with the Bulls. And then on top of that, when he was injured, that he was not going to do things on company time during the 97 offseason going into 98. But anyway, continuing with Horace, he says, "I would be cheating myself if I didn't go out there and test the market, and I'm not going to cheat myself." Then it goes on to say that Grant realized that Chicago was not the place for him. So reports back then indicated that Grant was unhappy with how he was treated in Chicago. Moreover, the all-star big man was reportedly having issues with the team's main guy, Michael Jordan. This is well documented. We know this, and you could even You even know it in The Last Dance. Jordan at times was pissed with Grant because he felt that Grant at times could be soft mentally. Grant was a very good physical player. He was a reliable 15 to 17 foot mid-range jump shot. Good hard worker, good defender, integral part of 3 championship Bulls teams, no question about it. It's just mentally, you could easily can get to him if Jordan didn't went out of his way to try to get. And again, like I said, I'm not condoning some of the things that Jordan did as a leader. And yes, you do got to pay the price when it comes to being a leader. But at the same time, it's well documented that Jordan and Grant did not get along. But anyway, continuing with the article, not only was he having issues with Jordan, because he became an all-star, it felt like now Horace had more options to be able to make more money with any other team, whichever team felt like they needed a power forward or whoever was interested in Horace, right? As he approached free agency, Grant's self-confidence grew stronger. He viewed himself as one of the best forwards in the league. So he was a good power forward, but it's like he didn't see himself as one of the best forwards in the league until he became an all-star. Then he felt like he was one of the best power forwards in the NBA. He didn't see himself that way. So it took him being an all-star, being recognized as an all-star, to build the confidence with Horace Grant to let you know that he was one of the best power forwards in the NBA. He didn't believe that. For 7 consecutive years, the general thought the Bulls had the environment he desired as a player. And however, he ultimately figured that Chicago was not the place for him. Okay. Ultimately, Horace Grant parted ways with the Bulls when he was actually doing really well and became an all-star. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a clip from NBA Cobwebs from their Instagram account. Again, shout out to NBA Cobwebs. And I never knew this. And the funny thing is, Horace Grant was already campaigning himself going to the Orlando Magic and said it publicly, which tells you this was Horace's way of saying that I'm tired of the Chicago Bulls and I need a change of scenery where I can make more money. And then he was already eyeing the Orlando Magic because Shaq had came out, I think, during the season and said that they were missing a power forward. This game, the Bulls were playing the Orlando Magic. It was a nationally televised game on NBC, which happened on April 17th of 1994, 31 years to the day, ladies and gentlemen. So, and the funny thing is, Horace Grant is interviewing and talking about going to the Orlando Magic while wearing the Bulls championship ring on his pinky finger. And the funny thing is, when he made this announcement during the interview, 3.5 months later, he signs with the Magic, and the Magic go on to the NBA Finals the very next season. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it, and then you're going to take a listen to what Horace had to say open publicly while still in a Bulls uniform in the last year of his contract. So let's take a listen. This is Marv Albert and Matt Guokas. They are doing the game on the NBA on NBC, and Horace Grant had a sit down with Peter Vesey on his potential free agency and where he already hinted at where he was going, which ended up being true. Let's take a listen.
Earlier today at halftime of the Knicks Charlotte game, in a conversation with our Peter Vesey, Horace Grant, an unrestricted free agent, said he wants to leave the Bulls and he has a destination in mind.
In my mind right now is I'm doing a puzzle, and one piece missing from putting the whole city of Orlando together, and that's Horace Grant. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Shaq said publicly that, we need a power forward like Horace Grant, and he's the man down there, so talk to him, Shaq.
That move?
I don't know about that, but Horace has been kind of coy all season long. Not so much about wanting to leave the Bulls, about different teams that he might want to play for, but he wasn't very coy with that particular statement.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Horace openly, that interview actually happened during the Knicks when they were playing the Hornets. But Marv and Matt decided to play that clip, that video clip of him talking to Peter Vesey, like, wow, the Chicago Bulls are playing the Orlando Magic. So there you go. Horace was already saying it. And the Knicks eliminate the Bulls in the second round, and Horace goes on to sign with the Orlando Magic, and the rest is history. Horace would win one more championship, but by that point in Horace's career, I believe he was, 36, 37 years old? He was 36, 37 years old. He would win a championship with Shaq and Kobe, and that would be his last ring. I think Horace did make another finals appearance with the Lakers in 2004, which was his last year. Ironically, that was Scottie Pippen's last year too. It's so crazy that Scottie and Horace came into the league together, and they ended up retiring in the same year that they both entered in the league, and both guys end up playing 17 seasons. It's so crazy how both of those guys, and it just makes sense why they both are really good friends. Mentalities, in a way, are similar if you really think about how they both went about their time in Chicago. But at least with Horace, Horace played his cards right compared to Scottie. So Horace learned not to make the same mistake Scottie did. Now, did Horace miss a chance at a three-peat? I mean, yeah, but again, it's just like you just really never know what the future holds. You don't know. It's easy to say, oh yeah, Horace missed a three-peat. We don't know that for sure. Yeah, the Bulls ended up three-peating again from 96 to 98, but that's because the power forward spot that they were lacking when they lost Horace, they brought Dennis Rodman. And Rodman was able to help them win 3 more titles. So yeah, was Horace important? Yeah, but luckily for the Bulls, they found a replacement in Rodman, who, again, was traded for Will Perdue, for God's sakes. Will Perdue never made an all-star team in his entire career. Rodman made 2 with Detroit and is a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. And the man was almost out of the league because David Stern low-key was trying to push him out. This is the same Dennis Rodman who almost committed suicide and ended his life in a car. But yes, Horace Grant ended up going to the Magic, and it was because of his public statements that he made on NBC talking about the Orlando Magic. But there you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's your boy Louis with another one. Let me know what you guys think about Horace openly admittingly that Chicago wasn't the place for him and ends up signing with the Orlando Magic. Let me know what you guys think. Bless up, live, laugh, love. Thank you guys for watching.